Are you looking for a reptile that's a little bit more unique but easy to care for? Well, today we're going over the top 5 reptiles that you might not have heard of. Hi everyone, I'm Ellie from Ellie's Exotics, and like I said, we're going to be going over some unique reptile species today and just a few points about each one. Just a disclaimer before we start, I don't really see any reptile as an easy pet or a beginner animal. It doesn't really work like that. What works for you might not work for someone else. It really depends on the temperatures in your house, the humidity where you live. A lot of things can go into it, but all of the animals on this list are animals that are not delicate and that can handle mistakes well. So let's get right into the video. Number 1 is the Bowers Chameleon Gecko. These guys are super duper cool. They are the cousin of the Leachianus gecko, which is currently the largest gecko on our planet. This gecko, however, is not large. They can weigh between 4 to 10 grams as adults, but they're still fairly easy to handle. They have very similar care to that of a crested gecko, but just on a smaller scale. They come from the forests of New Caledonia, and they would make an excellent addition to your reptile family. Number 2. You might have heard of the Western hognose, but have you heard of the Tricolor Hognose? The Tricolor Hognose is a smaller species of hognose that comes from South America. They have similar care to their North American cousins, but these guys need slightly higher humidity. Their patterns resemble something of a milk snake, but you still get that feisty little attitude and those venomous rear fangs just like your typical Western hognose. Number 3. The smooth knob-tailed gecko. The smooth knob-tail gecko is an Australian species. Now, when I lived out in Sydney, these guys were the leopard gecko of Australia. They were everywhere. They stay slightly smaller than a leopard gecko, but they have these massive eyes and a tiny little tail. They don't need a massive enclosure, and they would be happy in a 3x2x2. Knobtail geckos have very unique personalities, and again, they would make a great addition. Number 4, the Uromastyx. The Uromastyx is probably one of the reptiles on this list that has a bit more of a difficult care requirement, but it's definitely still achievable. They like really high temperatures and quite strong UVB, so they're somewhat comparable to a bearded dragon. But Uromastyx stay slightly smaller than a bearded dragon, so they would be happier in a smaller enclosure, so something like a 4x2x2 rather than a 6x2x2. And these guys will eat mostly vegetables, seeds, and nuts as well. They can have beautiful colorations, just like this ornate Uromastyx here, which are just breathtaking. Blues are not common in many reptiles, so I think ornate Uromastyx are one of my favorite lizards on this list. And number 5, my absolute favorite reptile on this list and my favorite species of snake, the Woma Python. Woma Pythons get to a very manageable size. They get to around the size of a female royal python, so you're looking at about 6 foot. Woma Pythons are a really unique looking species of snake. They have these 2 black spots on the top of their head, which act as their sunglasses to deflect the bright Australian sun. Their care is very achievable to do in captivity, and these guys, because they can't be imported or exported from Australia, every single one you'll find will be captive bred. I absolutely adore Woma Pythons, and I have a video all about their care on my channel, so if you're interested in them, go and check that out. Let me know if you have any of these unique reptile species, and I hope you enjoyed this video. See you all later, everyone. Bye-bye.